So even though they look rather dark, I don't want to make them too dark because it's on a light plane. And it's, see, already it's getting, it could get a little Boris Karloff-ish. And I haven't even made them that dark, so you can see the value of making sure that you don't overplay those. But it can get fun at this point because, you know, detail has its place. And it can really liven up a drawing or a painting. It just has to happen in the right time. To everything there is a season, a time for mass, and a time for detail. See, even with this line right here, because that was all pretty much one plane right there, it just happened to be kind of a smile line that broke it up, but I don't want to break it up too much, and I'm already a little, I'm already pushing it a little bit. But that's why I want to be really delicate with it, because I want the big plane to read as the first and foremost most important thing. Yeah, because I mean that stuff can look kind of fun if it's got the right context. If it arrived at the proper time. So again, I'm crafting a sphere out of this nostril. See if I can kick a little highlight in there. And, you know, to be honest with you, I might have made that white of the eye as light as that if I hadn't done that little experiment for you guys. Because it looks pretty light to me.
What's the name of the program that you have on the iPad?
ArtRage.
ArtRage?
ArtRage. ArtRage.
ArtRage?
Yeah.
R-A-I-S-H?
Rage, as in angry. So here's another example of the idea of driving home. I wanted to get that plane, and that plane. Highlight, halftone, shadow. Before I went into gourd stuff, which is those wrinkles right there. And I don't want to overplay those wrinkles either, because what's first and foremost is plain, plain, plain. If I get those in play, and I feel good about those, and I'm really delicate with those lines, and I don't overplay my hand, they'll float in and be in context with the major planes. So too often we see those lines and we just drill them in. You know, grandma's always happy when you've done a portrait of her and you've drilled in those wrinkles. But a little goes a long way, just a little touch. You know, I've barely indicated those, and already I feel like, boy, if I went one notch darker, I think I would have overplayed them. And notice, again, talking about hard and soft edges, when I squint, there's hardly a boundary between the hair and that halftone on the forehead. So I want to keep that true with my drawing, just maybe a touch difference is all. But that's a pretty soft edge. And again, what that's going to do is call attention. It's going to leave these strong edges dominant, and that's what I'm wanting to maintain. The strong edges dominant. By the way, well, let me do one more thing, and then I'm going to give you a cool little axiom. I'm just going to reinforce those highlights a little more, and now I can get into some direction. I always like to look for lost edges whenever I can find them, so that everything isn't kind of cut out, pasted up, so some areas blend off into the background. So here was an opportunity to lose an edge right there. So if I took that highlight on the hair and just set it off, it opened up an area. And I like opened up areas, otherwise everything gets all cut out, pasted up, outlined, defined. And not that there's anything wrong with that, because lots of great paintings have been created that way. But know you've got the option to open up areas and lose edges in certain places. A lot of it's about edges. Hard, soft, lost, found. Okay, the other thing I wanted to say was what? Oh, have you heard of this axiom? Lights reveal, shadows conceal. Think of it this way. We'll go back to the gourd. It's got bumps all over it. The bumps on the light side are more obvious, particularly when you're squinting, than the bumps on the shadow side. The shadow side, all those bumps kind of fade away because they're not getting the strong light that's revealing them. And yet it's possible that if we get too excited about the bumps, we'll play up the ones in shadow the way we'd play up the ones in light. But lights reveal, shadows conceal. So I can either let the bumps on the shadow side go off entirely and just be, you know, kind of like if I'm letting this eye go for now because I really don't need it. If I had more time, I'd put it in, but I really don't need it because that's on the shadow side. Shadows conceal, lights reveal. So if I go back, think it again of the gourd, I could let those shadow bumps stay hidden or softened or more mysterious and play up the ones on the light side, particularly the ones that happen at the halftone areas, because it's those halftone areas that really are going to scream what the texture is. You know, when you think about what a halftone is, it's like a sunset. If I could see the sun setting, it's still hitting me, so I'm on the light side, I'm on the Hatfield side, but it's skimming the surface and it's sending shadows. And so the earth or the moon or whatever is getting that sunset area is going to be bumpier, so to speak, because it's casting those shadows. So it's halftone areas that really reveal what's going on with the texture. So when I say lights reveal, I mean especially on the halftones. That's where you're really gonna get the most for your money. And that's true in color too. Your halftones are gonna be the place where color is gonna show up in its true color. So I want to be more invested in all of the plane changes, all the detail that I'm seeing on the light side, and I can even let the shadows go entirely, but if I do choose to put them in, I'm going to let them happen in a more subdued form. I'm not going to overplay it. Okay, are we done? Is it time?
5 minutes.
Okay, any last question? I'll take one question.
Did you put the eye on the left side? Is that what you is not it? What would you do
What would I do as far as that eye is concerned? What I would do is make very subtle value changes based on shapes. So in other words, I'm seeing this, I would say there's 3 values that I'm playing with. One is a mid value for the shadow, and I'm gonna leave that as what it already is. I'm gonna add a little bit darker value for the shape of the eyebrow. I'm gonna let that shape link into the eye. So that all could be one shape, the eyebrow and the eye. There's a little bit of a shape under there. And here's where it's dangerous. See, too light. But you get the idea. Let me see if I can knock that back. So a little you can kind of imagine an eye in there, even just that little bit that I've done. It doesn't take much, and I don't want to overplay it because now I've got something inside the shadow that's screaming when I want to have shadows conceal rather than scream. All right. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.